Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. It's kind of sunny out here today, so it's good.
My day started off sunny, and then all of a sudden the clouds rolled in, started raining, and so now it's just gloomy. No more rain, but it's
Gotcha.
just gloomy. Um, so hello everyone. Welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please give us a thumbs up because we asked you to. Today we are talking about Sister Wives, season 15, episode 2, Felons No More.
Yeah. This trip, I'm sorry. This trip, I'm not sure how you took it, but the first part episode, I was laughing the whole time. So I'm like, are y'all actually gonna get on the road today? Are y'all actually gonna get on the road today? Because the way they were arguing back and forth. Well, I want to take my minivan. It's more comfortable. Like, no, we take all one car. Well, the tire's flat. Well, we need another tire. Well, no, we need to wait. She's like, no, we just go take the the minivan or whatever because it's more comfortable and this is gonna take a while. No, we all. I was just like,
Let me tell you something. I
oh,
was on board with Christine from the jump when she was like, why the hell do we need to drive when we can just make a call? And congratulations to Christine for getting a damn job in Phoenix.
right?
She
It
used to
was
be the built in babysitter.
that's what I recall. Like I said, it's been a minute
Mm-hmm.
for me. I'm just jumping back in, but I do recall her being with the kids all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just dead set against on anything from her, like dead. Like he made
Yep.
up his mind. He wasn't thinking. He's like, if you're suggesting it, I'm not doing it. I'm
But
not
you
doing it.
know, it didn't even have to be like a phone call. They could have did a video thing and had everybody like do a Zoom call. And
Hmm.
if it was so important for Cody to see people's face and their eyeballs, you could have did that through a computer and saved all of the stress. With Cody, it's just self-inflicted stress for himself, and then it overflows on all the other women. And that mess with like, we need to all be in the same car. Why?
Why?
Y'all aggravate each other.
Exactly.
And how Janelle said when she was coming over to the meeting at the very beginning of the episode that nobody has said anything to her since the lunch.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
what?
It's just like here's the thing with Janelle. She means well. She really, really does. But she should not be the speaker of the house because she doesn't really communicate everything in a way that's easily understood. All she had to come out and say, look, we were better when we all lived together. Let's try to make this one house thing work.
I think she said that when he had the meeting last season, when he did the PowerPoint of the house schematic,
Hmm.
what he wanted to build and everything. And she was
Hmm.
excited about it. She said, oh my God, I really do want to get back to living in one home. And
Right.
she was quickly overrode by, I think it was Christine first, who had the
Christine first.
outburst. I am not living under one house again. And
Exactly.
then like she can't be the speaker of the house. I agree with you because she's easily overridden and nobody listens to her
Mm-mm.
unless it's about money. I think because I remember Cody used to default back to her when it came to the finances.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a really long time ago before Cody got so big headed.
Right.
Um, I don't know what he does now. Like it just seems he only listens to himself.
Exactly. And I like Yanni's comment because that's what I was thinking. He wanted to go to Utah because he wanted to show the ladies how a one home worked. That's all he really wanted.
They know that family. They know how it works.
Hmm.
And
But he's
they
but
don't
yeah,
want
they
it.
know. Right. But he's like, well, in his mind, he's like, well, okay, if I just take them there and I show them and they see it, they'll see it my way. And that's just the way that's the
They
way I'm
know
thinking.
that family. They've been to that
Right.
house. They've been there. They know it. And that's why they saying nope.
Oh, I
See,
know.
the
I get it.
problem with him is that he had them in one house in Utah, with the exception of Robin. She around the corner. Um, once you take them out of that one house situation and you separate them and you give a woman the opportunity to be independent and like set up her own domain, why the hell is she gonna want to go back with 3 other bitches? Like, call a spade a spade. You lost that opportunity. It's not going to come back.
So basically, what you're saying is they got a taste of freedom. They're like, nah, we cool.
Correct. Because look, Christine know how to pay bills now. She know how to work a checkbook, and she got a job. You think she going back to being the community babysitter? I think not.
And I'm not mad at her at all. I was just like, sir, like, they don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. So why even go through all that? Because all you're
Yeah.
doing is making them mad. They're getting frustrated, and you could see it.
Hmm.
And they're slowly breaking away from that kind of pack mentality.
And I was so shocked when he admitted, finally, after all of these seasons, that it would have been a mistake to move to St. George. Like, duh. And all the women told you that back when you was trying to push for that. And only
Right.
now. And I found that he, like, trying to make that trip, I know he had wanted to prove his point by showing his
Mhm.
women the one house scenario. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. However, you were risking getting locked up and getting your women locked up too.
That was kind of my thing. I'm like, why would you go back? But that's okay. That's okay. If you want them all arrested, it's cool. I mean, hey, the women probably would get out because they have children, but he would probably stay.
Yes. Do you see?
I
Look at
mean,
this. Look at this comment. We were talking about this right before we came on.
yeah.
He's not in love with any of those women. We
Mm-mm.
totally agree with you, Ian. And can he afford another wife considering I saw, oh, look at this. Montana Marcia. Cody's bankrupting his family. Yes, he is.
Yeah, all their credit's bad. You can't tell me all their credit's not bad. Between the move and the house losses, I'm trying to figure out how Robin got this last house.
No,
I
she
want to know.
barely got the one in Vegas because her first husband ruined her credit, and they had to do a credit repair, an emergency credit repair, so that she could get qualified for the loan for her Vegas house. So
Right,
they
but
stayed there for a few years, so she was like building back her credit.
so she's building. Okay, so she went through all that. So now she's able. That's how they were able to close on this home.
Yes,
Got
and
it. Okay.
I think Cody's name is on this house in
Cody,
Flagstaff.
but remember the last episode they said Cody's name is on everything. Like they used to have it to where all their finances were separate. Now Cody's name is on everything, so it kind of blends all of their financial issues things together, and they're not happy about that. But I'm like, how did
Cody
y'all let him
can't
get with
have
that?
good credit. He cannot have good credit. I cannot understand how. And I swear, back in the day, I swear he said the husbands in multiple marriages have no power. The women have all of the power. Everything is in their name.
He said that. I think he repeated that the last episode. But it was just interesting after they like at the end of the day they had to go with Christine's plan because that's what the mechanic said. I'm like, okay, like she said, we could have done this 45 minutes ago. So they're on the road. They're not really talking, which was funny. No, but they did have conversation, right? They were talking.
No, it wasn't Christine's plan. It was Robin's plan because she
Was it
said,
Robin's?
yeah, she wanted to take her minivan. But remember, she said that
Christine
he
went
told her that her minivan wasn't cute enough or
flashy enough.
yeah, and that the engine wouldn't get them over a hill or something. He said something nasty about her car.
Because Christine wanted to take separate cars. That's what it was.
Christine
Because
wanted to do the multiple
the
cars.
multiple cars. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was. And they were they were just too funny in the minivan. They had me dying because they just all looked miserable. I'm like,
Christine was the harshest. She was it
oh,
Christine who said let Robin sit in the front? She could sit with him. We don't want to
yeah,
deal with it.
right, exactly.
He was a bit of a jackass, though. Like, okay, a leaking tire. I I don't see why he needed to react like that. And then, okay, they were only going to stay for one night, right? Overnight,
which is
go
annoying.
see the family, and then drive back, right?
That was annoying.
Why was he filling up the entire back of Christine's SUV with running shoes? Like, where was you running?
Mhm.
All he left no space for anybody else. And when they came out with their little bags, he was like, "Where are you gonna put that? Like, oh my God, why are you packing so heavy?" I, why did he need all of those changes of clothes? Did you see all those hangers with his clothes
Right.
from the dry clean that he was putting up there? Where were you going?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Was it Janelle said like I should have flown or something?
No, it was Mary.
Was it me? I could have swore.
Mary was
See,
like, when he busted in on her in the toilet and yelled at her, and she came downstairs and they were like, he was screaming outside. She's like, I should have flown.
got it. Got it. Okay, for some reason I don't know why I thought it was Janelle. That's she. They sound so much alike to me.
Janelle doesn't say anything bad about him. You'll notice that. She doesn't. She just go like, I guess she's the most programmed of the bunch. She just doesn't say anything at all. And it's
Mm,
irritating. Like in previous seasons, she would rather vent her hostility towards Mary than who she should really be venting it to, which is Cody.
right. But that was a shame that they were stuck in that minivan. I'm like, you're going for one night. Like, I'm just not a fan of going somewhere for one night and driving back. That just makes no sense. But okay, do what you do. But they got there, and it was just when they got there, I was like, oh, who's this family? They seem. I'm like, they seem happy. They seem cool.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so I thought he did something like in marketing, even like right after they moved to Nevada. He doesn't have a job? Because that was one of my questions. Like, what exactly does he do for work?
Yanni said Cody technically has a church, so he doesn't
What?
pay taxes.
What?
I'm sure they take help from the government for having a lot of kids.
He has a church? Who follows him? My God,
But
he's another Mary Cosby. Oh my God.
hey, got the tour.
Hi.
But it's not a real job. They have things here and there. So basically, Cody is just Cody for the show, and the ladies have the jobs. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, because I remember Robin was trying to do that online store, Sister Wives Are Us, Sister's Closet, something like that. Mary was doing the multi-level marketing scheme with the leggings.
Right.
Well, now Christine has a job, good for her. And Chanel was sort of in accounting, but then when they went to Nevada, she became a realtor. I don't know if she still is. And she's a lousy realtor because if she was the one who was selling the houses,
Right.
ugh, oh my God.
Right. But they get to their friend's house, and like I was saying, they seem their friends seem very very happy. They cool. They chilling. They say they have no cares in the world. I'm like,
But he's married to two sisters, right?
yeah, because one of the women mentioned that it's no, it was Christina. I think mentioned like what happens is that you guys kind of marry the same guy because your friends tend to want the same marry the same guy as you, so you guys have similar tastes. Same with the sisters.
Look, you do that with shoes, you do that with a cute dress, you don't do that with your man. Like, I just do not get. I've been watching this show from the beginning and I just don't understand this concept of share. Maybe I'm too greedy. I okay. Maybe I'm
I think
not elevated enough. I don't
no,
know.
I just think what it is. I think if you grew up in that environment, it would seem very just normal, like very everyday. Like Christine, like she's like, hey, we grew up in separate homes and it was fine. I was like, that's why you have this mentality. I get it
Well,
with her now because she grew in her family. They grew up, but they didn't all live together. So for her, that's normal. So I understood her deep aversion to not wanting
no,
to.
no, no. You mean Christine?
That's what she said. Yeah.
They did live together, but then they broke apart. So she knows it from that. The reason
But
why they
okay.
don't want to, why she don't want to live together under one roof again, was because she used to fight with one of the women over the kitchen in that very small house that they had
Janelle.
in Utah. It I don't know if you remember that house, but it was really, really, really small. And Mary had the one kid, but Janelle had all the kids that she has now there. And Christine, she had all of her kids. Was her last kid born there? I can't remember, but that was a lot of kids. A lot of kids. And so when they brought in Robin, there was no room for Robin. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Robin had to stay around the corner because she
Mm-hmm.
already had 3 kids plus herself. Like if it was just her, maybe she could have slept on the couch or something. But there was no room. There was no room for the existing 3 wives in that house. It was
Right.
crazy.
So I just looked up the family. So the Dodgers. So yes, Vicky and Valerie are identical twin sisters.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he married them both because Valerie was married to another polygamous
Yeah.
family,
And
and
she
they
got
divorced,
divorced.
and then
Hmm.
she wound up marrying Joe. So that's how that's where it came from. That's what it is.
I don't know. It's just weird. They all come from that multiple family situation.
Hmm.
They all do. And it is what they're used to. I get it. Um, but I don't think it's very genuine because Christine is the most honest out of all of them, saying she has major jealousy issues.
Right.
And I relate
And
to her like that. Like, why you want to be like sharing coochie juice?
and Robin be crying too much for me. Like it's been 2 episodes, and she didn't cry on both episodes. This, like I said, I've been in and out on this show. So this what Robin does is cry.
Yes,
Okay.
basically. And every season it's getting the crying is getting more and more and more. She has a lot of guilt. She feels like a stepmom. She has the ugly minivan. Like she's praying and God is not helping her find a new rental place. So Cody's forcing her to buy. Like she'll find anything. Like the drive-through line at McDonald's is too long, so I'm gonna cry. Any excuse, and she's gonna cry. Um, ill, ill. And I wait, I can't remember if I've asked this. Is that a perm in Cody's head?
I'm gonna say yes.
The only reason why I ask is that his curls are always so perfect, and then right here in the middle, like you could see the roller, like the
Yeah.
part for the rollers. I Who told him a perm in this day and age with his receding hairline and thinning locks was a good idea?
No clue. But I do have a
Mhm.
question for you. So they arrive to the Dodgers. You know, they're talking, they're having a good time. Um, they're talking about polygamy and like how they're trying to decriminalize it. Which, my whole thing is this: as long as you pay your taxes and you not asking me for no money, I'm okay. Do what you do.
Mhm.
Now, do you think that Cody brought them there? How can I put this? To try to convince them, or did he think that the Dodgers would convince them about the one home? Because the way I took it was this: Cody was going to bring them there to try to convince them, and say, "Hey, this works," blah blah blah. But it seemed the conversation went towards decriminalization of polygamy in Utah.
Mhm.
So to me, it's like his plan fell flat, but I learned a lot.
Okay. His main thing was, and why it was so important for everybody to go and see, was everybody under one roof and to
Mhm.
get his wife's on board with his
Mhm.
plan for one roof in Flagstaff on that bush that they bought, that bushland that they bought. Um, the, I, the issue with regards to the legality or illegality of plural marriage in Utah, if it was so dangerous, how are the Garbers still there? You see what I mean?
That was
Like,
one of my things. I'm like, how are you guys not arrested? And you're on TV.
yes, you know, I just feel like Cody makes such a big deal out of every little thing. And Janelle follows along in that pattern because
Okay.
I swear that Garber, the husband's name was Joe, right?
Mhm.
Joe said basically what it boils down to is something like a parking ticket. I swear he said something like that when he was
Uh,
describing
like a
the law.
like a $700 fine or something. I recall.
Right. So, okay, he feels comfortable enough to still remain in Utah with that going on. It seems like you got some good money. Your house is beautiful. You know, you have accommodations for all three of your wives and their children. You must be doing something really good. Um, when Cody and them left Utah in the middle of the night, even though it was daytime, and they were driving to Nevada, they kept on
Mhm.
saying that they were under investigation. Were they really though? Or
Mhm.
was that amped up just for TV?
I think it's just amped up for TV because if you were really being investigated, they just came and snatched you up real quick.
Yeah, or even when you cross state lines, they could apply for extradition if you were under
Under
investigation.
investigation.
Okay, so he just wanted to move. He just wanted to get out of there. He didn't like Mary's house over there no more. He just wanted to move. He had a
Right.
brilliant idea and he got all his little chickens to run after him. Great. I it, I just have so many problems with Cody and all of his bad decisions over all of these years. It is infuriating that they have not risen up against him and told him stop. You know, and then you're like hearing from each of these wives. Christine would love to move back to Utah. Mary thinks that their family, the cohesiveness of their family has started to come apart since they moved to Flagstaff. Janelle is fine in Flagstaff because that's where Cody wants to be. And then Robin's not saying nothing at all because she knows that she's the reason why Cody said, let's move to Flagstaff, was because
Mhm.
one of her kids was going to school over there and she wanted to be near that kid. So
Is
he
the kid?
uprooted everybody.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Just
Uh-huh.
this. Oh, so this really explains why they don't like her like that. Because
Well,
they feel like you came in, you became the wife, and then because we were in, from what I understand, they were cool in Vegas. They liked
I
Vegas.
think
From
they were.
they
Even
were
the kids.
they had the
They,
cul-de-sac. I thought
yep.
the way it was set up, I thought it was super cool myself. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
y'all had all that paid for or whatever, and you left that in Vegas, really? And then
Well,
so
they
they
had
did.
it paid for. They had loans.
Well, we'll call it paid for. You know, so you guys, I love the setup. It was like their own little mini neighborhood at the end. I was like, that is kind of cool. But then they
Yeah.
left, and now they left because Robin wanted to be near her son. So I can see why they're mad at her because they're
Yeah.
like, because of you, we're here and we're in this mess.
Yes, look, Montana Marcia, she says the
Hmm.
same thing. Like, if they didn't resent her before for being the last wife in,
Hmm.
or they didn't resent her for making Mary divorce so that he could marry her legally to adopt her kids, I think this was it. Making them give up their ideal situation, leave some of their kids behind because some of them were registered in school, in university in Nevada. Um, to go to Flagstaff, where the cost of living was higher. They had to pay more in rent.
Right.
The cost of land was super expensive. Like, it was not a good financial move to move to Arizona. It just
No,
wasn't.
that's what I was looking at too. Now we actually rewatched the first episode just to get back into it and stuff. I was just like, but y'all had a cool thing going in Las Vegas, and y'all left all of that to go through all this trouble.
This is a good question here. Okay, why would you be jealous if you truly believe in sharing? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Who's the one that always says, I didn't just want the husband, I wanted the family to be sharing and all that. It like,
Robin.
yes. And yet she gonna sit down in this episode and say, I didn't get all that. I just feel like a stepmom. Girl, bye.
Right. And if I were her, I'm gonna be honest. I would just fall back because the reason why y'all in Arizona is because of you. The reason why that you're going to have these financial issues is because of you, and
That's why she
only
doesn't
you.
say anything. That's why she
I'm go-
does. They asked all of those wives, do you want to move back to Utah? She's the only one that did not say anything.
I'm gonna keep my eye on Robin because the first episode, I'm like, y'all being mean to this little girl. She seems sweet. Now I'm looking at her side eye because, like, well, this is all your fault. I'm seeing that you're selfish, and yeah, okay, I see you now.
She had one friend between them three original wives, and that was Mary. And she even lost that when Mary had to divorce Cody so
Hmm.
that he could marry her.
Mm-mm. Nope, 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 nope. This is
Unbelievable.
good. This is not good. I feel that, excuse me, that Cody's plan backfired because
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to talk about um this one home thing, but it turned into basically a law, or like how the laws are in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And was it me or did Christine kind of perk up at the thought that it would be decriminalized? Like I just saw
Yes.
I saw her perk up a little bit, like because I
Mm-hmm.
think she said in her confession, like, it's a long shot. It may happen, it may not happen, but it's like she had hope,
Because
and
she's one that wants to move back.
that's what I thought because I
Mm-hmm.
really saw
And
that. Go ahead.
And no, and I just wanted to highlight this note. Thanks, Montana Marcia, because several of the college age kids were enrolled in university in Nevada. So I think they only have the little kids that are in like uh, regular public school with them, the minors. So wait,
Exactly.
what's this? Iane says the first wives in polygamy is the boss. Mary acted like it. Cody didn't like Mary. Janelle was independent, so she didn't care. Christine was the real wife. So when Robin came along, it messed things. I guess it messed things up.
Yeah. That makes so it
Oh,
sounds like if I'm understanding Yanni's statement, when
wait, am
Robin
I saying
came,
the name wrong?
it's
I think
Yanni.
it's Yanni.
Yanni.
I'm sorry, Yanni. Go ahead.
So what happened? Based on what I understand, like I said, I've been in and out of the show over the years. When Robin came in, it messed up their whole dynamic. It kind of just threw off because it's like she was like was it a square peg in a round hole? Like she was just
Mhm.
pushed in. She didn't like seamlessly work in.
Mm. They like to say that Robin fit in seamlessly into their little group. They
Oh, they
really do.
lie. They lie too.
They
I can see that
did.
right away. They lied.
They
I don't like
did.
that.
And they've kept her ostracized. And I think Mary reaching out to her, trying to bring her in, was kind of phony,
Hmm.
but she was playing the role of head wife, I
Hmm.
guess.
Until Robin booted her out, but that's another story.
But you know what? You and I talked about this because I truly feel like Mary thought that Cody would have been like, no, because she was the one who offered to divorce him so that he could marry Robin and adopt her kids. And
Mm,
I think she thought she was more of a value to Cody than she really was. And that was
right.
crushing for her.
Exactly. Yanni makes another good point, but that's what Cody did. And generally, that's how it works in polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
When he's fed up or tired of a wife or she's old, he gets a new one. So basically, he felt Mary had gotten kind of like mature, so he's like, let me just bring in this little Robin girl to that way I can usher her in.
I think he actually fell in love with Robin. I don't think he was in love with any of the other three. I think
Oh,
he did it because um, he was part of that. So he got
mm-hmm.
married to Mary first. I think it was arranged by the church. Um, and then when his eyes started to wander, he said, "Okay, I'm going to take on another wife." I think Christine was his second wife. I I think she might have been arranged by the church as well because like her granddad was the pastor of one of their
Yeah,
churches.
mm-hmm.
So she might have been like sort of royalty. Um, and then Janelle got tagged along again because she comes from the same type of family. But Robin was his first chance at, I think, like little like puppy love, like romance, because she was a bit younger and she wasn't like she had already been married, she had kids, like she had a lot of baggage with her. So I think he actually fell in love with her and it just went wrong. That's my theory with that.
I like that. I'm gonna have to like really. I might have to go back and rewatch a little bit here and there because I could see what you're saying. Because if they were arranged marriages, it's like he didn't really have a choice. But with Robin, he's kind of like, oh, I got to pick her. I got to I got to like
Mm,
actually like date.
look at this. SM says Janelle was actually dating Mary's brother and then dumped him and ended up marrying into
Oh,
the family.
a
Ooh,
mess,
wow.
a mess.
And what's this one? Okay, so then this one, Mary brought in Robin as an ally since Christine and Janelle were friends, but eventually
Robin learned to marry.
Robin learned,
Um,
oh.
got it. This is very interesting. This is why I kind of like this show. That's why I'm he was and if it was.
Listen, if you don't love yourself, you cannot love another.
Oh,
And
Montana. Oh,
I
real
think
quick.
he's
Montana said they
miserable.
weren't arranged marriage. They weren't arranged marriages.
They weren't arranged. Mm.
So I have
There's
a
there's
question.
no way you can't tell me that they were conveniently nudged together. Like he didn't meet none of these women at the grocery store in aisle 6 or down at the club or wherever.
I just
Eh.
enjoy their this dynamic because you can even not having like I said, I've been in on the show over the years. You can definitely see like the women are putting their foot down, and he's like you can see it in his face like he's like, oh my gosh, I've lost control of my wife because I'm just guessing here that for them to be independent and to voice their independence, I have a feeling this may not be making him look too good in the eyes of his fellow plural marriage, like the husbands. Like they may be looking at him sideways, like, dude, like you just lost control of your wives. What's going on here? What you got going on in your house?
And
Houses.
that was another thing I noticed. If you put the Garbers side by side with the Browns, okay? Take the two men out of it. Check how the women on the Garber side communicated and check how the Brown women communicate. There's open hostility and anger on the Brown side, but these Garber women, they seem at peace and happy with one another.
Right. That's why I know it's a stark contrast between the two. But I'm just really looking at now. I'm looking replaying the episode in my mind. I I would now I'm recalling like the looks on like the Dodgers faces when the Browns would communicate with each other, because I noticed one of Joe's wives, when the women the Brown wives were communicating, she had to look on her face like, what is going on here? What's going on? Like, this is foreign to us.
Mm-hmm.
And when Joe would speak, the wives just listened, and then they would give their opinion. Like, and it was also calm. It was like a seamless conversation. Versus when the Browns communicated, it sounded like shrieking.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, Cody always had the look of, I'm losing control. I'm losing control. So I'm interested to see this how this plays out.
The Garvers also seem to have a mutual respect for all four of them in their group. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I don't think there's any respect anymore in the Brown
I
family.
agree. I just found what I'm finding, and I'm so glad this episode happened, so we actually get to see two plural marriage families side by side. Is that what it is that there's mutual respect, but the wives actually respect Joe and the Dodger family. Versus you can see in the Brown family, the women really don't respect Cody.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that like just eroding,
It's almost
especially with Christine,
it,
and then with Mary.
it's like they're challenging his authority
Right?
and just basically calling him like a duh for all of the mistakes he's making. Okay, so wait, Vinette, Cody quarantining with Robin? For real, for real? Ooh, okay. Okay.
Yes,
Why
Priya, we're
doesn't
back to
he?
live.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah,
Yes,
Bria.
Priya, we're back to live. We challenged the strike and it got removed. So yeah, this is we're doing this show this way, and then we're gonna do 90 Days shortly, and then we're gonna have our open panel
Oh yeah.
discussion for TLC Tuesdays at 4 Eastern, and that's when we'll drop the link.
Yeah. So, did we miss anything in this show? What
Mhm.
did you think of him saying that that Cody feels like he's on four puppet strings and all the wives are pulling his strings? And then Mary said, I don't ask you for anything. I cut that string a long time ago." Mm.
Right. Yeah, you could see, like I said, this go to me now. Now that I said this out loud and noticed it, he's desperate. He's desperate to remain in control, and Christine especially is not having it.
Mhm. Oh my God. Okay. So, anything else you want to talk about in this
No,
episode? We've hit on everything. Well, if
we
we
hit
missed anything, we could pick it up in the open discussion.
exactly because I'm excited. Like I said, this show is just intriguing due to the dynamic, and
Mhm.
for me, the first two episodes have been really good.
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, guys. Oh, wait. Yes, Ebony, we got a strike. No, it was from TLC and we asked for more clarification. And then it was removed. Because they didn't have a leg to stand on. So yeah, so guys, this was the Sister Wives season 15 episode 2, Felons No More. Give us a thumbs up, leave your comments below. We actually read them and respond. This show has generated quite a few comments with just the one review that we did so far, so we really appreciate all the feedback. I can't understand these relationships Jamal's smarter than me, and I guess he's doing a little bit better than I am. But please, any information or insight on these types of
Right.
relationship, please share with us so that we can understand. Because I've been watching for like most of the 15 seasons and still don't get
Yes.
it.
Yeah, you have. 'Cause
Um,
I've been, like I said, you've been watching way more than I have. I've been in and
yeah,
out, and yeah, I'm like, whoa, okay.
yeah. I like it. It's one of those things where you really shouldn't do it. You really don't want to watch because you just don't understand what's going on and you don't agree with it, but you can't help but okay, I'm
Well,
not good. I'm gonna watch it this season, but this will be the last season.
I
And
think
then
what
you
it
watch it
really
again.
is because you can see the evolution of the dynamic, and you can see the cracks, particularly
Yeah,
like these first two episodes. I'm like, now I have to work out. I want to see how this plays out.
yeah, yeah. Well, is it bad for me to say that I'm waiting for the season where they all like eat him alive, literally, and bury him
No,
in a desert?
no, it's not bad. Cause he just made some really bad financial decisions. And
Yes,
that's where I'm annoyed with him.
yeah. Okay, guys, give us a thumbs up if you like this review. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification bell so that you're aware every time we release new content. And most importantly, tell a friend, share, bring more people into the conversation so that you can help us get through these hard shows. We will see you at the top of the hour for 90 Day Fiance. And then after that, it'll be the open discussion. Until next
Next
time.
time,
Bye.
bye.